So, silver suit time later with Hole in the Wall at 5:30, but a final score roundup now on BBC One with Jake Humphrey.
Hi there, welcome to Final Score, the business end of the afternoon as far as the day's football's concerned. With 19 reporters across the leagues and across the country, we'll bring you the twists and turns as the final whistles approach. There's been a 2-week break for the Premier League, therefore my guests were keen to get back on the sofa. After all, as we know, it helps to keep your hand in when it comes to football. Please welcome Steve Claridge, Garth, Crooks and Mark Bright, who are alongside me. Well, the day's early Premier League kick-off result was 2-2, Liverpool versus Manchester City. We'll get all the details from Simon Brotherton very shortly. But first, let's head around the rest of the matches and first of all, straight to the Stadium of Light, where there is some drama for you immediately. Let's join Damien Johnson. Damien, 0-0 Arsenal versus Sunderland up until this point. Who's got the all-important goal?
It's gone to Sunderland and it's gone to Darren Bent, his 9th goal of the season. The ball swung in from the left, a corner, the ball bobbled around, it fell to Bent, the predator for Sunderland, and there he was from about 5 yards out to hoof it into the net. Sunderland lead 1-0.
Well, it's a struggle, isn't it, for Arsenal after that international break? They went into the break on fantastic form, really beginning to find it hard at the moment. But there's no doubt about the game of the afternoon so far. If you didn't press red at 2:30 and you haven't been with us so far on Final Score, you have missed a cracker at the KC Stadium. Alan Biggs has been watching the goals fly in. Alan, what's the latest?
It's now 3 apiece between Hull City and West Ham. Manuel da Costa has fired in a leveller for Hammers from a Stanislas corner. Watching the replay, was there a question mark of handball just before the strike from da Costa by Upson? I'm not sure. It will be a talking point perhaps. Where do you start otherwise with this one, except right at the start when West Ham raced into a 2-goal lead. Headers from Franco and Collison. Astonishingly, Hull turned it round by half-time. Jimmy Bullard's strike, first of all, deflecting in off both Parker and then Carlton Cole for an own goal. A dramatic Hammers collapse followed just before the break. Zayetti expertly volleyed in a Humphrey kick. Then Bullard slammed home a penalty after a questionable foul on Fagan. If that wasn't drama enough, Hull had Bernard Mendy correctly sent off for stopping a run through the middle by Scott Parker after the break. So Hull are depleted here. Hammers have capitalised with da Costa's equaliser, but there's no telling where this one's going to finish up. It's Hull 3, West Ham 3.
So goals and drama galore at the KC Stadium, and it's also goals galore at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are looking for their 1,000th win in league football. Today, they're playing Wolverhampton Wanderers. In the last 2 meetings between these two in the Premier League, Chelsea scored 5. Are they looking like getting 5 today, Roger Johnson?
Well, they're not far away. It's Chelsea 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. As you say, a landmark day for the leaders, as well as that record you've just mentioned. They're also poised for a club record 12th successive home win and a 10th straight clean sheet. Oh, and they've brought on the second most controversial footballing Frenchman this afternoon, Gaël Kakuta. He of the allegedly murky move from Lens is on from the bench. The goals are Malouda Screamer and a Joe Cole drive, either side of 2 from Michael Essien, who's now on a mission for the match ball. Wolves have seldom threatened, but when Ebanks Blake did get a header on target in the first half, Czech saved smartly. Fairly routine for Chelsea this. They're leading Wolves by 4-0.
Gordon Strachan recently swapped the SPL for the Championship and he isn't finding life very easy at Middlesbrough. They were leading, looking for Gordon Strachan's first win as manager. It's now 1-1. Robert Earnshaw, the evergreen Robert Earnshaw, who scored goals everywhere he's been after 73 minutes, has given Nottingham Forest an equaliser. And Nottingham Forest haven't actually lost at home yet this season. Right, let's head to Turf Moor, where Burnley are certainly impressing in the Premier League on home turf. They're playing Aston Villa today. Andrew James is watching this one.
Jake, Burnley leading it by 1-0. Steve Caldwell with the goal for Burnley early on. A header got in front of Richard Dunn. The big news, though, perhaps from an England perspective, is that Stuart Downing has come on as a substitute for Aston Villa. His first appearance of any kind since joining Villa in the summer. Ashley Young has gone out to the right. Milner's playing in behind the front two of Agbon Lahore and Carew. But Burnley fully deserving their lead, and they're on course to make it 6 home wins out of 7 this season. Burnley 1, Villa 0.
Thanks, Andrew. Ivan Gaskell's been at St Andrews today watching Birmingham versus Fulham. 2 teams mired in the mid-table, and it's sounding like a sort of typical mid-table game, really, Ivan.
Yes, it is. 15 minutes left. Pouring rain and a game that's, yes, got rather bogged down ever since Lee Bowyer got it off to a promising start, linking well with McFadden and lobbing cleverly over Schwarzer. Tough going since then, though. Dempsey's just been denied a Fulham equaliser by Hart's fine save. Birmingham lead it 1-0.
And you can see there that Norwich have equalised away at Southampton. Southampton have been on great form recently in League One. Of course, that was a Premier League game in 2005. Stephen Hughes getting the goal there after 75 minutes. And Wickham, who've really struggled so far this season, they were at rock bottom, no win in 11. They're away at Millwall. Kevin Betsy getting a win there, and first win for their manager, Gary Waddock. So congratulations to him, if indeed that does stay 2-0. Let's get details now of the Liverpool-Manchester City game. Neither started the day where they wanted, outside the top four. A crunch game for both clubs. Simon Brotherton was there for us. Well, listen up, all you Manchester City fans. I've got some good news for you. After spending almost £100 million this summer, you're finally breaking records, but this might not be quite the record that you had in mind. The stalemate at Liverpool was your team's 6th successive draw. That's just one short of the top-flight record currently shared by Southampton, Norwich and Nottingham Forest. And I suppose if either team had lost today, it would have heaped huge pressure on that team and that manager. What does a draw do for either team, do you think, Mark Bryant?
Nothing really. I've been looking at Liverpool, one win in the last 10 games. You know, after a good start to the season, they needed to win that. And then you're thinking, Man City, with the team they've assembled, just don't seem like they can defend well. You know, and in the end, I think it's a point gained for Man City, obviously, they came from behind.
OK, let's have a talk about Arsenal, because they're away at Sunderland. Darren Bent, who's scoring goals for fun at the moment in the Premier League, has given Sunderland the lead there. People talk about an international break harming a team on form. Is that genuinely something that exists, Steve?
Absolutely. I mean, they've gone into this on great form. I think what we're also talking about, obviously, is there are two key injuries. We've got one to Bent, and obviously the most obvious one, the one that will affect them more than anything, is the Van Persie miss. And that's the way this game has gone. They started it very well for an hour. You know, Sunderland have played extremely well just to stay in the game. Arsenal, we've seen their fluent passing. They just lack that little bit of a cutting edge, which, you know, obviously in previous weeks Van Persie has given them.
I must say, Jake, on the Sunderland game, we talk about Arsenal. Steve Bruce said he wanted a big slice of luck because he hadn't had any since the beach ball incident. Well, he got one today because the ball's come in from, I think it's the left, and Fraser Campbell goes to control it, miscontrols it so badly, it shoots in the 6-yard box to Darren Bent, who converts the goal. It's a tremendous slice of luck. I think Sunderland have been a little bit fortunate, not just with the goal, but throughout the game.
Yeah, well, the table as it stands has Arsenal 8 points behind Chelsea in the Premier League. But there's been all sorts of things going on this week, you know, talking about the slightly more unsavoury side of football. But it's been the kind of entertainment that we all love football for, going on at the KC Stadium, Hull and West Ham. That's been a cracking game.
Incredible. I mean, West Ham playing away from home in the bottom three, went 2-0 up, and you're thinking, this is unbelievable. Phil Brown just looking ponderous. They come back into it, then they go ahead, then they have Mendy sent off, and there's all sorts going on here. There was a penalty appeal. It's great entertainment, but, you know, obviously for Phil Brown, now they've got the noses in front, they need to keep it.
There's not long left there. Can you pick a winner for us, Real?
Well, I just said the momentum was with Hull, because they'd come from behind, but West Ham obviously back in it now.
OK, right, let's head into the Championship now. And first of all, West Brom. West Brom hoping to get their hands on top spot in that division. John Anderson's at the Hawthorns. How's it going, John?
They lead by 4-0. Goals early in each half by Jerome Thomas and Chris Brunt in the first, and then a Simon Cox double in the twinkling of an eye in the second is a third successive win for Roberto Di Matteo's men. Bristol City, who were previously unbeaten in 7 games, have defended chaotically at times, and the Baggies, following that 5-0 win over Watford, have now scored 9 goals without reply in their last 2 home games. West Bromwich Albion 4, Bristol City 0.
And Luton now 2-0 up against Cambridge United. Luton, of course, desperate to try and get their hands back on a place in the Football League. Now, Queen's Park Rangers have seemingly got it all. They've got rich owners. They brought in more players on loan from the Premier League this week. Doncaster, on the other hand, are not the richest club in the Championship by any stretch of the imagination. But today, they're looking like getting their hands on the points. Steve Sutton's at the Keep Moat. A fantastic afternoon's football from Doncaster, Steve.
Yes, indeed, Jake. They may not have all the money, but I think they've got the 3 points. There's less than 10 minutes to go. Doncaster lead by 2-0. The first from Billy Sharp on about 54 minutes. He was fastest, sharpest, you could say, to the ball inside the box to prod it home from close range. And then Dean Shields with a drive from just outside the box, just after the hour, made it 2-0. We've just been treated to a keep ball at the keep mode from the Doncaster players. 30 or 40 passes, much to the delight of the fans. They're chanting easy. Doncaster lead by 2-0.
Now, whoever you support, spare a thought for Reading fans. They last won at home on the 27th of January, and today they were facing high-flying Blackpool. The game is currently approaching the final whistle. Let's get the very latest. David Garrido.
It's Reading 1, Blackpool 1. The home side totally bossing the first half. Blackpool keeper Matt Gilks putting off some fantastic saves to keep the sheet clean, but he couldn't stop Gylfi Sigurdsson slotting home the opener after the break. The goal created by the impressive Joby McAnuff, and only moments later a well-worked move from Blackpool ended with Brett Ormerod sweeping an equaliser past Adam Federici. McAnuff and also sub Hal Robson-Kanu have both forced saves from Gilks. A lively game. It's Reading 1, Blackpool 1.
Thanks, David. The former Peterborough and Norwich striker Danny Crow's got a goal back for Cambridge United after 81 minutes. And Ebbsfleet, who are really struggling in the conference at the moment, have had Darius Charles sent off after 80 minutes for serious foul play. Now, just a few months ago, 2 months ago, in fact, just before Mark Robbins arrived, Barnsley were bottom of the Championship. Cardiff, by contrast, are currently the top scorers in that division. They are scoring goals for fun, but they can't do it this afternoon. Robbins has really started to turn Barnsley around, hasn't he, James Mason?
He certainly has. They've played well, but it's not been a classic. Barnsley nil, Cardiff City nil. Miserable conditions. Barnsley have found some success in the air with headers from Bogdanovic and Foster, whereas shots on target from Chris Burke and Ross McCormack have been Cardiff's only high point. It has been pretty low. A steward in front of me, he's fast asleep. No word of a lie. Barnsley nil, Cardiff nil.
Thanks very much, James. Now, Plymouth fans will be feeling rather nervous at the moment. 9 times this season they've conceded a goal in the final 15 minutes of games. Today they're away at Leicester. How's it looking, Mark Bishop?
Leicester City nil, Plymouth Argyle nil. The visitors proving party poopers so far at the Walkers on Leicester's 125th birthday in front of a crowd of over 27,000. Plymouth, quite frankly, they've been hanging on ever since Fry at Mr Sitter after just 3 minutes. Great effort from Burner, cleared off the line by Folly, and then Waghorn, Wellens and Fryatt all had Copperstone chances. Big appeal for Leicester penalty just a few minutes ago when it seemed that Lowry handled, but it's 0-0.
Well, Gordon Strachan went into today's game as Middlesbrough boss, looking for his first win and his first goal. Well, he's got his first goal, but the first win currently looks like it may well elude him. They're playing Nottingham Forest. Paul Addison's at the Riverside.
Just over 6 minutes left here, Jake. It's Borough 1, Forest 1. Leroy Leiter's 5th goal of the season gave Gordon Strachan's side an early lead after just 5 minutes after Julio Walker's shot was saved by Lee Camp. Best goal of the game so far from the Forest substitute, Robert Earnshaw. 73 minutes, a fabulous free kick, giving Brad Jones no chance. It's 1-1.
Let's quickly head to the Madejski Stadium. There's goal news in the Reading-Blackpool game. Which way has it gone, David Garrido?
This is what the home fans are waiting for. It's Reading 2, Blackpool 1. It was a delightful ball floated in from the left-hand side over all the heads, and it was Gregors Raziak, the substitute. He timed his run to perfection, diving header past the keeper Matthew Gilks. It's Reading 2, Blackpool 1, and that first home league win could be about to arrive this afternoon.
But Reading have just got to hang on. Jeff Hughes has scored a penalty after 81 minutes for Bristol Rovers. They're now leading 2-1 against Gillingham. Let's head to Bramall Lane. Sheffield United against Peterborough. Peterborough have brought in a new boss, but he hasn't managed to turn things around just yet. A difficult first day at the office for him, it seems like, Naz.
Certainly is. Still Sheffield United 1, Peterborough United nil. Henri Camara's first half strike still separates the two sides here. George Boyd's missed penalty in the second period has knocked the stuffing out of the posh. Mark Cooper is in there in the dugout barking instructions to his side, but to no avail so far. Still Sheffield United 1, Peterborough United 0.
Thanks, Naz. Kevin Ellison's given Rotherham a 1-0 lead against Torquay after 85 minutes, looking like they're going to do the business there. Kevin Ellison with that goal. Let's go to the Withdean Stadium now. Brighton have brought in a new manager, Gustavo Poyet. He's their new boss. He was formerly the Leeds #2. A difficult game for him, though, even though he's won his first 2 games in charge. Tony Lockwood's at the Withdean. Brighton versus Leeds.
Gus Poyet's Leeds United reunion is not going to plan. Once assistant manager at Ellen Road, now attempting to mastermind a Brighton revival. His side have been outplayed for long periods. Robert Snodgrass with a long-range opener. Jermaine Beckford with a precise finish. They could have had more. Beckford and Sam Vokes almost added to that tally. Brighton have rallied. Glenn Murray close, but it's Brighton 0, Leeds 2.
Sometimes football surprises you, sometimes it does quite the opposite. Watford were looking for their third straight win at home. Scunthorpe had lost their last 4 on the road. There really was going to be only one winner in this game, and at the moment, Lizzie, it really is looking like Watford.
It is, and they have chances every other minute here. At the moment, though, it's 3-0 to Watford against Scunthorpe. The informed Watford even have been allowed to do what they do best, and that's pass the ball by Scunthorpe, who are on a run of 3 straight defeats. The first 2 goals came from the head of Heider Helgeson in the first half on loan from QPR, and they were both from Danny Graham crosses. He got one of his own early in the second half. Scunthorpe are rallying, and they're not really as bad as the scoreline looks, but with just about 5 minutes left, at a very wet and windy Vicarage Road, it's 3-0 to Watford.
Now, if Aston Villa really do have ambitions to break into the top 4 and stay there, they need to get results against teams like Burnley, even though at Turf Moor, Burnley have been so strong so far this season. There's been a goal. Which way has it gone, Andrew James?
Jake, 2 things haven't happened very often for Aston Villa this season. First of all, Stuart Downing hasn't played very much, and Emile Heskey hasn't scored very much. They've both changed. Downing's on, and Heskey has scored with a header, and he's pulled the goal back, which makes it Burnley 1, Aston Villa 1. Burnley were heading for 6 home wins out of 7. Villa seem to have saved it right at the death through Emile Heskey. Burnley 1, Villa 1.
Thanks, Andrew. It's a season where you really need to impress your international managers, isn't it? And Emile Heskey will be looking to do just that. Oldham have equalised against Colchester. Ryan Brooke after 88 minutes there. And Bristol City have finally managed to pull a goal back against West Bromwich Albion, but too little, too late for Paul Hartley. Now, we've heard about a Villa equaliser. Any prospect about Arsenal doing the same at Sunderland? Damien Johnson is watching the Londoners toil at the Stadium of Light. Damien, are they going to score?
I wouldn't write it off completely because the Sunderland goal is leading a bit of a charmed life. Arshavin went closer moments ago, but he was narrowly offside. They're under pressure again as Vela puts the ball in the middle and it flashes across the face of the goal. Arshavin couldn't get a touch, neither could Fabregas. But Vermaelen was very close with a spectacular volley, angled volley which went wide. Sunderland hanging on. Darren Bent's 9th goal of the season separates the 2 sides. 3 minutes remaining.
Well, this could be one of the biggest 10 minutes in Arsenal's season so far, Mark.
They're pushing for it. They're pushing for it. I mean, just, you know, they don't want to... Well, 8 points behind Chelsea they'll be, you know, with a game in hand. But as you said, it seems like the international break's just lost. They've lost momentum. You know, obviously Van Persie's been crucial to them with his 11 goals so far this season. They just don't seem to have the same impact up front, down the middle. And I think Steve was saying earlier, for a team who scored, 30-odd goals, we're urging them to shoot from outside the box again. They're just trying to walk in. But Sunderland, you know, have given a really good account of themselves.
Oh, great credit to Sunderland.
Yeah.
The worry for Arsenal, of course, is if they do get an equaliser, that still leaves them 7 points behind Chelsea with only 1 game in hand. And great to see Emile Heskey getting on the score sheet, Garth.
I have to say about time, because I think Aston Villa have made hard work of it. But I've got to say, the whole West Ham is a cracking game. Mark Clattenburg today has made too many mistakes.
And you're watching intently some of those monitors. What's catching your eye, Steve?
I think, I mean, you keep getting drawn to the whole West Ham game simply because it's had just about everything in it. But it's been one of those days where the rain's come down, people have been lots of slidey tackles, lots of players that, you know, most of these teams, to be fair, have really gone for it today. Yeah. And it's made a refreshing change. It's been a good day's football to watch, I know that.
OK, earlier on today in the SPL, St Johnstone beat Hearts 2-1, but Ibrox is the place to see Rangers go top of the league tonight if they can hang on to their lead. Brian McLaughlin's watching this one for us. Brian, are Rangers going to do it?
They certainly are. There's just a minute off the 3 minutes of injury time left here, and Rangers lead by 3-0. All the goals coming in the first half. Chris Boyd netted his 149th SPL goal after just 7 minutes. That quickly followed by goals from Kenny Miller and Stephen Whittaker. A minute left here at Ibrox. It's Rangers 3, Killie 0.
No win in over a month for St Mirren. Different story for Hibernian. They could have gone second today. Let's get the very latest news now from St Mirren Park. Ian Turner.
3 minutes left. It's 1-1. It's looking like a point apiece after a disjointed second half. After an interesting first half when, curiously, both sides scored with the opposition apparently in control. Riordan for Hibs and then Chris Innes for Saints on the stroke of half-time means at the moment with 2.5 minutes to go, St Mirren 1, Hibs 1.
OK, KC Stadium is the place for the action today. 3-3 at the moment. Alan Biggs is watching Hull versus West Ham. Alan, any sign of either side snatching themselves a late dramatic winner?
Oh, plenty. He couldn't write the script on this game. It's still 3-3. Hull, though, have got their talisman on. Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink. He got the win, of course, against Stoke a fortnight ago. All Hull's wins, 3 of them in the Premier League, have come here. They need another late goal to get one, but West Ham looking just as likely. Good chance just now for Jimenez and another for substitute Hines. It remains going into the final minute of the action. 3-3 here.
The league team, the informed team in League Two are Chesterfield at the moment. Scott Bowden, after 90 minutes, gets Chesterfield's 5th. Fantastic effort by them. They're looking really good at the moment. Let's quickly head to the Ricoh Arena. Coventry versus Crystal Palace. Steve Lee's watching this one. 1-1 when we last heard, Steve.
Yes, it's still 1-1. We're in added time now. Both sides going for the winner. Palace dominated the first half. Darren Ambrose scoring his 11th of the season. Coventry have been much, much better in the second half. Leon Best got his 8th of the season. Both sides going all forward in driving rain. It's 1-1.
Chelsea aren't doing things by halves, are they, this season? Today they were looking for their one...
They didn't really do themselves any justice in the first half.
Men against boys.
Yeah, Wolves stay second bottom. You'd fear for their top-flight status, wouldn't you, Steve?
Well, they can't keep conceding goals in that manner. I mean, they actually looked OK going forward. They created 1 or 2 good opportunities, but they can't keep it defensively tight when they haven't got the ball, unfortunately.
OK, right, let's head to St Mary's in League One. Southampton versus Norwich. Tony Husband's been watching this game today.
30 seconds left, Jake. It's Southampton 2, Norwich 2. 3 goals in the second period in very difficult wind and rain. Southampton leading at the half through Adam Lallana. Norwich levelling from the penalty spot when Wes Hoolahan's effort came back off the post and he put the second attempt in. David Connolly put Southampton back in front. A brilliant curler from him. But then Kelvin Davis could only parry Chris Martin's shot and Stephen Hughes reacted quickest. It's just about a finish. Southampton 2, Norwich 2.
Another win for Altrincham. They're having a great season this year in the conference. And you might have just seen Leeds slip off the bottom of the video printer there. 3-0 away at Brighton today. They go 6 points clear at the moment in League One. And finally, after toiling in that league for a few years, Leeds United may well be on their way back to the Championship. Now, in League Two, the big game of the day was Dagenham versus Rochdale. First versus third. The right to be top of the league tonight was up for grabs at Victoria Road. For us today is Andy May.
Hi Jake, we're just into stoppage time. 2 goals in less than 2 second-half minutes means Rochdale are leading. Higginbottom fired low into the net from just inside the area, and then Dawson headed in for Keith Hill's men. Dagenham went ahead after just 3 minutes thanks to a Gain header. Nurse's shot over this half. Rochdale can go top. They're winning 2-1. Dagenham on the attack at the moment. They've had Thomas sent off, and a good clearance there from Rochdale means it'll probably be 3 points to the away side.
Thanks, Andy. Right, let's get the very latest now from St Andrews. The final whistle has blown. Birmingham versus Fulham. Last time out, Birmingham picked up a 2-2 draw with Liverpool. They keep their good form going. They've beaten Fulham at the match for us. Ivan Gaskell.
Yes, 1-0 winners, soaking wet and forgettable football, but Birmingham really won't care about either of those factors. 3 points all wrapped up in the moment that McFadden and Bowyer combined early on, with the game's one real moment of quality. Bowyer's lob proved the winner in the end. Second half pressure from Fulham, but Birmingham soaked it up, literally. Rather a slog here. Birmingham 1, Fulham 0.
A late goal gone in at Oakwell. James Mason's watching Barnsley versus Cardiff. Which way has it gone, James?
It's gone to Barnsley, possibly the last kick of the game. Carl Dickinson from a deflected free kick away towards my right. Unbelievable scenes. Probably neither side deserved to win this, but in the last moment, Barnsley looked like they've snatched it 1-0.
Well done, Mark Robbins. He really has turned things around there, hasn't he, at Barnsley? Right, let's quickly head to the Stadium of Light. The full-time whistle has just gone. Damien Johnson's there. Sunderland versus Arsenal. For Arsenal, that is a huge result for Sunderland. Congratulations to them. Burnley versus Aston Villa. Well, Burnley have had a fantastic time at home so far this season. They've won 5 of their 6 matches at Turf Moor, and amazingly, against Aston Villa, they couldn't quite hold on, but they had a fantastic afternoon. Let's get the very latest full-time score news from Andrew James.
Standing ovation for them at the end. Burnley 1, Villa 1. Emile Heskey's first Premier League goal of the season taught Burnley, though, a harsh lesson about life in the Premier League. Leading by an early goal from their captain, Stephen Caldwell, Burnley were coasting towards a 6th home win of the Premier League season. But after sending on Stuart Downing for a belated Villa debut, Martin O'Neill went for broke, sending on Heskey too. That left 5 England squad men chasing an equaliser, and 2 of them combined to provide it as Milner crossed for Heskey to head past Burnley's hesitant keeper, Brian Jensen. Food for thought for all concerned, not least Fabio Capello. Burnley 1, Aston Villa 1.
The fun and games has finally finished at the KC Stadium. But Alan Biggs, you can't tell us that you didn't get your fair share of entertainment this afternoon.
I wouldn't claim that at all. Hull City 3, West Ham 3. Jake, the sort of score a compelling game deserves, and whatever the frailties of these two sides, the neutrals have had cause to be grateful for them. There's been some fine football too, and plenty of controversy. A late Hull penalty shout, for instance, but Phil Brown's side may be the happier after going 2 down early on. Franco and Collison for Hammers, and later playing most of the second half with 10 men after Mendy was sent off. Bullard launched the earlier fight back with a shot deflected in off Cole. Zayetti levelled, and then Bullard sank a penalty in a madcap end to the first half. But finally, Manuel da Costa brought West Ham level from a corner amid many contentious moments at either end. It's finished Hull City 3, West Ham 3.
What a game. Don't miss that one tonight on Match of the Day. Now, going into their game at the Walker Stadium today, Plymouth are in great form, having won their last 2 games. But Leicester, so far, have won 6 games, 1-0 this season. Mark Bishop, maybe we should now make that 7.
We certainly should. An absolutely incredible finish, Jake, at the Walker Stadium. Leicester City 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. The 4th minute of stoppage time. Who would have thought it? Nicky Adams, the substitute, in it swung in the driving rain, and there was Andy King at the far post to prod the ball home. It had been all Leicester prior to Mr. Sinner after just 3 minutes. Folly then cleared Berners-Effen off the line. Arneson headed against his own crossbar, while Waghorn, Wellens and Fry all had chances, while Leicester were then denied what seemed a stonewall penalty when Lowry handled deep in his own penalty area. Justice done in the end. Terrific game of football. More than 27,000 at the Walkers. Leicester 1, Plymouth Argyle 0.
Hard lines on Plymouth Argyle there. Now, at the Hawthorns today, West Bromwich Albion were hoping to go top. To do that, they'd have to get their 3rd win on the spin for the 3rd time this season. They're certainly having a year to remember this year in the Championship. John Anderson was at the Hawthorns, and West Brom didn't disappoint, John.
No, they did both of those things. 3 successive wins. They're back on top as Bristol City lose for the first time in 8 games. It started with Jerome Thomas's goal after only 3 minutes. Chris Brunt brilliantly made it 2 after 12. And then a 2-goal blitz from Simon Cox in the opening minute of the second half finished it off. Paul Hartley's free kick for Bristol City was an unstoppable curler from 25 yards, but of little significance. West Brom 4, Bristol City 1.
Let's get the full-time news now from Barnsley versus Cardiff. 2 months ago, when Mark Robins arrived to take the job at Barnsley, they were bottom of the league. As things stand right now, they're sitting 15th in the table. Another win for them, and all that against a Cardiff City side who are pushing for the top 2 at the moment. James Mason with the full-time report.
Yes, Jake, Barnsley 1, Cardiff City 0 in what was an otherwise dismal game. Barnsley defender Carl Dickinson proved to be the unlikeliest of match winners after striking home a 20-yard deflected free kick into the bottom corner in the final minute of the 90. His first goal of the season, and one of the only attempts on target all match to seal all 3 points. All credit to Mark Robbins' men. Barnsley 1, Cardiff City 0.
Well, if you've only been with us here on BBC One this afternoon, then you've missed the full score experience. Remember, for all the build-up and all the goals as they go in from 2:30 every Premier League Saturday, all you have to do is press the red button from 2:30. And trust me, with these 3 guys in the studio, the entertainment is well worth it. Right, time now to get the full classified football results in the company of Tim Gudgin.
OK, Jake, here we are with the Barclays Premier League. Birmingham City 1, Fulham 0. Burnley 1, Aston Villa 1. Chelsea 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0. Hull City 3, West Ham United 3. Liverpool 2, Manchester City 2. Man United and Everton kick off at 5:30. Sunderland 1, Arsenal 0. In the Coca-Cola Championship, Barnsley 1, Cardiff City 0. Coventry City 1, Crystal Palace 1. Doncaster Rovers 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Ipswich Town and Sheffield Wednesday have an evening kick-off. Leicester City 1, Plymouth Argyle 0. Middlesbrough 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Reading 2, Blackpool 1. Sheffield United 1, Peterborough United 0. Watford 3, Scunthorpe United 0. West Bromwich Albion 4, Bristol City 1. In League One, Brentford 1, Walsall 1. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Leeds United 3. Bristol Rovers 2, Gillingham 1. Carlisle United 0, Swindon Town 1. Huddersfield Town 2, Hartlepool United 1. Leyton Orient 2, Tranmere Rovers 1. Millwall 0, Wycombe Wanderers 2. Oldham Athletic 2, Colchester United 2. Southampton 2, Norwich City 2. Stockport County 1, Exeter City 3. Yeovil Town 1, Charlton Athletic 1. In League 2, Barnet 0, Port Vale 0. Bradford City 1, Accrington Stanley 1. Burton Albion 3, Hereford United 2. Chesterfield 5, Darlington 2. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Rochdale 2. Lincoln City 0, Grimsby Town 0. Macclesfield Town 1, AFC Bournemouth 2. Morecambe 1, Cheltenham Town 0. Northampton Town 2, Crewe Alexandra 2. Notts County 0, Aldershot Town 0. Shrewsbury Town 1, Bury 1. Torquay United 0, Rotherham United 2. In the Blue Square Premier, AFC Wimbledon 0, York City 1. Chester City 1, Altrincham 3. Ebbsfleet United 0, Tamworth 1. Forest Green Rovers 0, Stevenage Borough 1. Gateshead 3, Grays Athletic 0. Hayes and Yedding United 2, Crawley Town 1. Histon 0, Wrexham 0. Kettering Town 0, Kidderminster Harriers 2. Luton Town 2, Cambridge United 2. Mansfield Town 1, Eastbourne Borough 1. Oxford United 1, Barrow 0. Salisbury City 1, Rushton and Diamonds 3. The Clydesdale Scottish Premier League, Falkirk 2, Hamilton Academical 0. Hearts 1, St Johnstone 2. Motherwell 1, Aberdeen 1. Rangers 3, Kilmarnock 0. St Mirren 1, Hibernian 1. The Irnbrew Scottish Division 1, Airdrie United 2, Greenock Morton 4. Queen of the South match with Dunfermline Athletic was postponed. Wraith Rovers 0, Ayr United 0. Scottish Div 2, Arbroath and Alloa Athletic match postponed. Clyde 1, East Fife 3. Dumbarton and Peterhead match postponed. Stenhousemuir 1, Brechin City 1. Stirling Albion 2, Cowdenbeath 2. And Scottish Div 3, Albion Rovers 0, Annan Athletic 0. Elgin City 0, Forfar Athletic 2. Montrose and Berwick Rangers match postponed. Queen's Park 1, Livingston 2. Stranraer 1, East Stirlingshire 2. In the Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth Town 4, Elements Cefn Druids 1. Airbus UK Broughton 2, Newtown 0. Match between Carsous and Gap Commerce Quay was abandoned with Carsous leading 1-0. Carmarthen Town 1, CPD Portmarnock 3. Port Talbot Town 2, Bangor City 1. And Welshpool Town 0, Neath 0.
And let's bring you up to date now then with the Football League tables, starting with the Premier League. Chelsea extend their advantage at the top to 8 points after their comfortable win over Wolves. Arsenal stay second for now after defeat to Sunderland, but will be overtaken by Manchester United if they gain at least a point to Everton later tonight. Aston Villa's late level at Burnley is enough to move them up to 4th. Manchester City and Liverpool stay 6th and 7th respectively after drawing earlier today. Taking a look at the bottom, well, Portsmouth, they're not actually in action until tomorrow, so they do continue to prop up the table. Wolves stay in 19th, but their goal difference takes a bit of a hit, really, doesn't it, at the hands of Chelsea. Bolton slip into the bottom 3, increasing the importance of their home fixture against neighbours Blackburn tomorrow. West Ham climb out of the drop zone following their entertaining draw with fellow strugglers Hull. That was some game, wasn't it? Let's have a quick look at the Championship table. West Brom return to the top of the table, courtesy of that 4-1 home win against Bristol City. Second place Newcastle can respond, though, against Preston on Monday night. Leicester are up to 3rd, thanks to Andy King's 90th minute winner against Plymouth. In the bottom there, Mark Cooper's first game as Peterborough boss unfortunately ended in defeat at Bramall Lane, meaning they stay bottom. Ipswich will remain in the relegation zone, even if they beat Sheffield Wednesday in today's late kick-off. Plymouth replace Reading in the bottom 3 after the Royals got their first home win since January, beating Blackpool 2-1. Congratulations to them. In League One, well, Leeds continue to trailblaze their way through the division, don't they? Simon Grayson's side now top the table by 6 points after beating Brighton. Charlton stay second but could only draw today. Huddersfield, they're up to third now after beating Hartlepool. At the bottom of League One, Tranmere Rovers slip back to the foot of the table after losing at Leyton Orient. Wycombe climb off the bottom with their first win under new boss Gary Waddock. And Southampton and Stockport both failed to win. And I'm afraid to say, for Southampton and Stockport fans, they stay in deep trouble. In League Two, Bournemouth are the new leaders. Well done them after hitting back from a goal down to win 2-1 at Macclesfield. The Cherries replaced Dagenham and Redbridge, who were beaten at home by Rochdale. At the bottom of League Two, Steve Staunton's Darlington are now 5 points adrift at the bottom. After losing 5-2 at Chesterfield, he really has taken on a very difficult job there, and Grimsby remain in the relegation zone, despite picking up a point at Lincoln. The Blue Square Premier, Oxford United won for the 14th time this season. They stay 5 points clear of Stevenage, who also won. Kettering, Mansfield and York, they complete the playoff positions. At the bottom, Chester City are still 4 points from 0 after losing to Altrincham. Ebbsfleet, Grays and Forest Green occupy the other relegation places. They all lost today. In the Scottish Premier League, Rangers, they lead the way by a point after beating Kilmarnock 3-0 at Ibrox. Celtic can reclaim top spot when they travel to Dundee United tomorrow. Hibs drew 1-1 at St Mirren, meaning they miss the chance to go level on points with Celtic. And Falkirk beat Hamilton 2-0 to record their first win, although they do stay bottom of the league. Right, that's it for the tables. Just to remind you that Match of the Day will bring you highlights and reaction to all the day's goals and talking points. 10:25 tonight, right here on BBC One. And delay that crawl up to bed if you can for the Football League show. It really is worth staying up for. Action from 35 Football League games is the perfect way to welcome in Sunday. So join Manish and his guests at 11:45. And highlights of tomorrow's 3 games, including Bolton versus Blackburn on Match of the Day 2. The last word on the weekend's football at 10:30 Sunday evening. Right, let's talk about Arsenal in November. This time last year, they lost 3 games in the month. Do you see signs maybe of the same thing happening again?
I don't see that, but they've got some big games coming up. I just think Chelsea, Manchester City and Stoke will tell us a little bit more of what we know.
And Chelsea have got 8 points over Arsenal, 12 over Man City, 13 over Liverpool. Looking great for Chelsea.
Great for Chelsea. Arsenal missed a great opportunity today. They'll need that game in hand.
And after a sad week, it's great to see a game like that. Fantastic match at the KC Stadium. That's just what football needed.
Yeah, very much so. And Phil Brown will be pleased that the last couple of games, the players have played very much for him. You get the feeling.
Fantastic, guys. Thank you very much. That's it from us here on BBC One for now. But Final Score continues via the red button. Press red now to join us for the rest of the programme. We'll be on air until 6 p.m, hearing from players and managers, and we'll have the action from the Championship game between Barnsley and Cardiff. And if that's enough football for you, then join John Inverdale on BBC Two shortly for live rugby. Scotland are looking to beat the Wallabies for the first time in 27 years. Rugby, of course, being the game where you can use your hands. It can be confusing for people sometimes. Do press red if you want more from Final Score. If not, we'll see you next weekend when we'll do it all over again. From all of us, thanks very much.